Welcome to MMA Underground. You got Buddy V. Over here we have Jay, also known as a Yankee. And down below we have Tiny Tank.
What's up? What's up?
So how's life treating you today?
Real good, man. Real good.
And for those of you that don't know, which all of you already do, he's one of the branch leaders of Street Peace West Coast. Also Bushido Zed, holding it down. And it's called Tiny Tank for a reason. Ain't nobody get past that shit.
Appreciate you, bro.
So we got the West Coast second year anniversary coming up, correct?
That's right.
Woo! Can't slap my mama. I'm so excited.
SB West Coast 20, man. 20.
20. Damn. And I was curious, is that gonna be at the Smoke Ranch?
Smoke Ranch it is, yep. Yeah, bro.
I can't wait to see. I know it's gonna be exciting.
Free Smoke got his rematch, and I saw Weirdo fighting. It's a stacked card, man. It is stacked.
It is. Yeah, we got Weirdo fighting knee fight, man. That one's gonna be exciting.
I can't wait to see that one. I want to see Diesel versus Little Mac. I've been like hair pulling. I wanted to see it on the BOK Prime. I'm waiting. I got Diesel.
Yeah, hey, that one turned into something else. That one just grew and grew because it was brewing for so long, and Diesel never let up off the gas, and he's always been on him. So Lil Mac was just like, I really want that. He messaged me, man. He really wanted to come out here. He wanted Diesel last month, but we weren't able to get that going. So he's like, hey, as soon as you guys are able to fit me in, he wanted that match no matter what. So we made it happen for this anniversary event. You feel me?
We need Diesel back out there in the black Air Force Ones. There's something about Diesel and the black Air Force Ones that all comes together. I don't know if it's the shoes or what. We need him back out there in the black Air Force Ones.
That's mean Diesel right there. Mean Diesel.
Get that power of the black Air Forces. Ooh, man.
For real.
So, you have any special plans that we don't know about for the second year anniversary, or we just have to wait to find out?
Hey, well, I mean, you guys, we released a good amount of the matchups, I'm sure you guys know the big ones and some of the ones that we might have announced, but you guys might not be as familiar with. We got Sneaky Boy versus Italian Tanker going down. Both of these guys are good fighters, man, but none of them have a win yet. So they're both Italian Tanker, I believe, is 0-3, and so is Sneaky Boy, either 0-3 or 0-4. So they've had tough opponents. And this time we decided to match them up. They're both excited about that matchup, so that's gonna be good.
Well, Little Diesel jumps in right after we got done talking about him, so I don't think he heard anything we said. But I'm going to tell him right now, black Air Force Ones. That's what we were talking about. And Tiny Tank, I'm going to bring something up that's not fight related. So I'm watching you on your skateboard with your dog.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not going to lie. I watched the whole video waiting for you to go Superman flying, and you didn't. You let me down, dude. You stayed out in the floor.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Hey, it's happened before, though. It's happened before.
Didn't you break a truck one time?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. That was nasty. A bus ran it over, bro.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's what my tax dollars went to, wasting more of my money. No, just kidding.
Yo, it was crazy, bro. I had a bag full of beers, getting back home, everything gone. Skateboard gone. It was crazy.
Damn. Yeah, talk about bad luck when it rains and pours. Ooh. I saw that video you just did for the sweepstakes where you gave away those pair of gloves. Those were pretty killer, man.
Yeah, they're nice. They're real nice. Those HKA gloves are the ones that I use at boxing class and everything. Those are the ones I spar with. They're good gloves, man. I love them.
Oh, yeah, check that. And you had the Killer B little sparring session. Woo, it's good. I've always been a Killer B fan, so it's cool to see him spar, see him in action.
I love sparring that dude, man. That dude's so good. I always gotta fucking be thinking in there when I'm sparring Killer B because he's so smooth with it, bro. And there's like 4 or 5 punches coming at you. And he's like a foot taller than me.
Right? But I was like, man, it's a one good thing about being a shorter fighter because then you're used to everyone always being taller than you.
Yeah.
So all my people are at least a little bit just right here and more. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so you've been able to get back to training after I know that. Yeah, you ended up in the hospital after the last event, and you've been able to get full force again.
So 5 days after that is when I like changed everything up and I for real started training again, man. Even I had been. I'm gonna say when the Fire Chicken fight was announced, maybe I think 3 months ago, I started training, but I was still, had a few bad habits that I hadn't completely put away. But after this latest visit, and then I had some reflections, and then I just went all out. So now I'm actually in the gym. I finally am in a boxing gym, and making different decisions.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to hear. I can't wait because, like I said, I liked your fight before. You're already solid. You look like you could punch the wind out of somebody just without even trying. You just get that body shot and boom. So yeah, I'm gonna get your good side.
Body shots, man.
What's up to everybody in the chat? I saw you, Some K, Lil Diesel, JJ. What's up to everybody?
Did you see what Little Diesel said? He said when he brings back the black Air Force Ones, he's sour Diesel.
Oh. I like it. So I'm curious because I have a question like that for the West Coast fighters. Do you have a favorite Street Peace West Coast location? Which one's your favorite cage?
Dude, maybe okay. So I have a favorite cage and I have a favorite location. If I could bring them both together, I think it would be the dopest. I haven't been to the Hot Box, which is in Arizona, but that I love how that cage looks. But my favorite cage is the Sandbox, man. You've been to the Sandbox, The Sandbox is sick. If we could have had the Sandbox in the location that we had in California before we weren't able to go back over there, and the farm, if we had those two things together, that would have been beautiful. I mean, the cage over there in Ojai in California was sick too. Anyway, they had that pro-looking cage.
And I like that. The platform right there.
Right next to it. So we had two out there already, and that spot is just beautiful.
So that's the one with the tarp over the top where Little Diesel fought in his black Air Force Ones.
That's right. That was the one with the tarp and all that.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I see. I always wanted to fight in the hay barrels. That's one I wanted to try because I thought that'd be kind of cool. Give me that. I like some of that Russian boxing where they just have the hay barrels around and you're just like.
And so the Smoke Ranch brought that back because that was like our origins when we were in California. Smoke Ranch, we did a few events with the hay bales. We built a cage now because the fighters wanted a cage. They deserve a cage, so we built that. But we want to incorporate that hay bale look a little bit. So maybe we put them, around for the spectators, make a little bleachers of hay bale or something. I don't know. We got some ideas.
So mess, you can eat my grass.
So Smoke K wants to know if you're going out to the Super Bowl at the Hot Box.
Going out to the Super Bowl at the Hot Box?
Yep. He said they need you out there.
Talking about this event coming up.
So how hard is it for you deciding which fights to pick, especially for the 2-year anniversary?
It was tough. The good thing is that we opened it up to be able to accept a little bit more fights. So as of now, I think we have about 30 to 35 fights. So we are allowing a little bit more. The thing is that we always want to make sure everyone gets a match. So who we pick depends a lot on that as well. If everybody there is going to get a matchup, we like to get a good amount of people around the same way, same experience, just so we have them there in case somebody drops out. We can mix and match the matchups we already have.
Well, two-part question. One, is Heart in the Fight going to stream that live? And two, how brutal is it in Nevada in August? Because I go to Nevada when it's April, December, get to the 86 degrees. How brutal is that?
That's smart. Well, okay, it will be streamed, and it is super brutal. We got to switch phones every every fight, sometimes in between rounds, so we're actually working on shades. We're working on getting different cameras now, just to beat that heat, because it affects a lot of the things. It affects the warm-ups for the fighters. It affects the fighters inside the fight. It affects the people, like, being able to cool down after the fight. That's tough. They stay hot for a really long time. So safety, we're bringing in more shade. We're trying to bring in anything to keep the fighters safer, because that's the main concern. We can deal with the cameras getting overheated, but it's the fighters that take it the worst.
Yeah.
Well, how bad is that on your cardio as a fighter? You can answer that too, Buddy V. Like, I played hockey, so like we never were overheated, especially that I'm old and places weren't as warm as they are now. But yeah, as a fighter, like, how does that heat take away from your stamina?
Well, I feel like it's just, you feel like there's like a warm blanket out when you're trying to breathe. When it's cold air, you can feel it cool your lungs. Even if it's kind of decently warm, you can breathe and you feel it. But yeah, when it's like that hot air, it feels you go to breathe. It's almost suffocating almost. You take that deep breath, but it's just like, oh my goodness. It's just, it's almost too much for me, at least. That's like at the sandbox towards the end. And that's why I was running miles and miles. I look at the video, I'm like, how the fuck was I so out of breath? But also Laminite's a beast. It's
overheats you, so that it's crazy. My mat room here that I have, we have noise. That's where I spar Killer B and Sin City Strikers come over and we spar there, and it gets up to 115 degrees regularly. And as soon as we go in there, before halfway through the first round, we're sweating. So yeah, we try to get used to that. But I mean, that's what happened to me the last time I was at the event. I didn't even fight and I overheated, so the heat's real.
I saw the last fight Kid Buu had. He in the first round he had to end up stopping, and he said it was just that heat got to him, and he was standing out 100 degrees for 4 or 5 hours just to fight, and it's just you takes everything out of you.
Over there in Dirty South, right?
You said what?
You're talking about the Dirty South event?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Wade and Weddle went out there, and I mean they've been to all of our events. They said that's one of the hottest events they've ever been to.
Jeez. Yep. Yeah, I don't play. That's why when it's certain temperatures, I drink only water. You want a beer? No, I'll wait till it cools down. I can wait for the night. Yeah. So I'm curious. Do you have any fighters that have kind of caught your eye from the West Coast with the growth, with it being 2 years? Because I know, we have our classic favorites. You got people that are just boring killers, but then you really see the growth of some of them where it's like from their very first fight to now. Like one of the biggest examples I use from the scrapper is Gash from her first fight to now she's getting guys, finishing them off by first, second round. Anyone that kind of has caught your eye?
Yeah, for sure, and for different reasons, man. If we're talking long time like that, then Battleborn for sure sticks out for me. He went in with a big losing streak. It was 3 or 4 fights before he got his first dub, and he's just switched it up because that guy is the most game fighter that we have, I believe. Where he doesn't ever have, like, the Oni was his first one that he actually knew he was fighting. At the event, we switched up his fighter 2-3 times sometimes, depending on who gets fights, and he don't ever ask or turn down a fight. He's always down. So I think Battleborn deserves that.
I think that fight with Diesel, he threw his shoulder out one time, right?
Yeah, he did. Dude, throw it out. They popped it back in, and he wanted to take another fight. That guy's crazy, yo. Yeah, that guy is wild.
You can't buy that kind of toughness. Heck no.
Stop him.
So here's a random question, so did you ever, when you first saw Shinigami head kick detail, did you ever think it was going to go viral that way, like to the point where it got Shinigami on Pat McAfee and Brandon Schaub? And do you think that helped the West Coast Street Beefs get more views?
So yes, it helped the Street Beefs West Coast for sure. As far as being on those kind of shows, I don't know, because I had never seen that happen anywhere with any fighter. But I did. I called it as soon as it happened. I told my girl, I'm like, this fight's gonna go viral. This is gonna get a bunch of views. I called that, but as far as it got, as far as he took it, no, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect him to be, getting face to face with the guys that he did.
I'm not gonna lie.
Instagram.
I'm not even a fighter, but when I saw Detail block with his hand, there was kicks. I was like, oh, it's going to the head. But I didn't think it was going to be that brutal. You know what I mean? Like, it was perfect.
Yeah, that's a solid ass leg that he brought up there. So, the sound of that while you're there is crazy. Yeah.
All right. I got a comparison of every yard. So we have the Shinigami head kick for the West Coast, the Army Hammer head kick from the scrapyard, and the Iraqi assassin head kick on a gnome. I don't know if you guys remember that one. That was a cold piece.
Nuts. Yeah, all those kicks are crazy, man. I remember the first time I saw the Arm & Hammer one, I was like, oh my goodness. All those kicks were crazy.
Ooh, man. See, that's why I like being short, too. Oh, my hands are always up here. Everyone's tall because I know they can kick. They barely try their head length right here, so I'm screwed.
Yep.
What's worse, though, one head kick that knocks you out or getting your leg kicked off by somebody who's really good at leg kicks?
To be honest with you, I take the leg kicks just because, man, there's a lot of stuff that can happen behind a head kick like that, I mean, you take...
Yeah, that's absolutely fair.
Out for a couple weeks even at the worst of it, but you take one of those head kicks and it could be a little more damaging.
I'll agree with you. I'll take the leg kicks. I'll just put some extra compression stuff around my leg.
Yeah.
I use some crutches.
Yeah, right.
I was curious because you were talking about training, gets hella hot. Do you have a type of music that you prefer to listen to while you train?
Yeah, actually the past month when I just got it back into really, really training, I've been listening to nothing but I mix it up all the time, but what really has gotten me going is like songs in Spanish, man. My Mexican music has really done it for me recently. So I think that's what I've been listening to the most.
Oh yeah, no, I can dig that away. Me saca más agüita, me saca más aplauso, me saca más aplauso, mano de niña. Jay's like, wait, what's going on? No.
He'll be performing all week, so check him out.
So I didn't get a chance to watch the Heart in the Fight one, but did you guys watch the Iraqi assassin and Italian Tyson fight?
Yeah, I watched some of it. I was actually doing a workout while it was playing, so I didn't get to pay attention like I should have. But I'm gonna go back because of how it's it's circling around so much. So I'm gonna really pay attention to it like it deserves.
Yeah, I looked at some of those stats that they put real quick before I rewatched it. I was like, hold on, let me look at these again real quick. Double check them all. Look, I was like, all right. That was a killer fight. It was interesting that I liked a little bit of the after scenes too, where it shows other people when we're as fighters. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, some people can get really hot, and then arguments happen. It's really just yeah. It's interesting, but it's all still love. It's all family. Everything was cool, so it's like we don't got to worry about anything bad happening.
Yep.
All right. I'm curious. This is what I've been waiting to ask a handful of people because I personally smoke weed. But what are your thoughts on people that use THC or CBD to recover? Because I know some people say they prefer not to use any at all. Some people use it, to help out regardless. And some people, like the Diaz brothers, just don't give a shit.
Yeah. It's Street Beef's West Coast, man. So many of these fighters are smoking all day long. So, everybody that I train with smokes. Besides Wade and the select few that don't, but yeah. I don't know. I actually stopped smoking a little bit while ago. Not like I'm not gonna smoke, but I just haven't.
Yeah. I've had a couple fighters tell me.
It's good to fall asleep with, So
I had a couple fighters tell me, and I won't put their names out there unless they want to. They can throw their own shit out there. But I had a couple tell me that they get high before they go fight.
Yeah, hey, I would never do that. I can't even smoke sparring or anything like that. So that's a whole different level of being comfortable smoking. I can't do that.
See, I got two. First off, Somke, I think personally, Iraqi assassin won the fight, but that's just me. But what I have two ways I feel like it. When I don't, the day of a fight, I will not smoke in the morning. Personally, I want my reflexes to be on point. Everything. But when I train, if I'm sparring, if I'm really like, this is going to be training for my fight, I need to be 100% focused, I won't train before. Most of the time, whether I'm sparring, weights, running, I will smoke a bit because the way I figure is I smoke throughout my day with my life. I smoke when I'm out with my kids. So if I train and I'm used to doing all this while I'm high, then it's just going to be another thing. So instead of me being like, oh, shit, I smoked a little too much, I can't do this. I'm like, oh, this is normal. All right, beep, beep.
Maybe with like shadow boxing and stuff like that, I'll smoke a little bit before. But when it comes to sparring, I've done it a few times, and it's not my cup of tea. And I like lifting. I lift weights before I do boxing and stuff like that. So, and I focus a lot better without it. My rest times are too long when I'm smoking. I'll just be forgetting what I'm doing and don't hop on the next set fast enough.
Shit, I'm looking for a song for 5 minutes now. Damn it.
Yeah.
Then you get out there, you start working out, you hit some, and you get that like breathtaking heart pump from while you're trying to lift. Like you're like, man, I'm done lifting. I'm just gonna be high right now.
All right, let me see what else I got over here real quick. All right, so for everyone that's seen it, we know Viking Warriors coming up to come fight at the West Coast. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Woo, are you excited or what?
Hell yeah!
He called out everybody. You might be the only person he didn't call out, Tiny Tank. You might be the only one.
Yeah, I guess he knows I'm not really fighting right now. I'm working to it, but I'm sure he would have if I was in his radar. But we're all excited to have him over here, man. Like his name's fitting. He's a warrior. We all love watching his fights. We all have a lot of respect for him, and he did call out a bunch of people. So we're just excited to see him in person. Get down over here.
Oh heck yeah! It's like one of those things where it's like you go to the cage, you clock in, you go to work, and it's like outside the cage, it's cool as hell. Yeah. It's like with Free Smoke and Earthling 7, man, and then Ugly Boy 2. I'm so excited, but like being able to see them fight. I saw Ugly Boy fight, but I don't think I saw Free Smoke or Earthling yet in person. So when they came down, I was just like, on Christmas, I was just like, oh my goodness, I get to see this in person.
Yeah, cool peeps too.
Oh hell yeah! Get to have a good time, relax. We gotta cause a little bit
kind of on
trouble.
the conversation with Viking Warrior coming down there. When are we going to see? And I know it's not up to you, but what are you hoping for? And when are we going to see somebody invade the West Coast?
Yo, we've been waiting. We want that ASAP.
Who would not want to take a reason to go to Vegas for a fucking week? Like that doesn't make sense to me. Like I'm in. You let me know when the invasion is. Me and my wife will book tickets and we will come down and support the shit out of you. I'll even work the event. But like that's an excuse to go to Vegas. I don't get it.
Yeah, and no, I'm sure it'll happen soon. There's priorities, and then people already have a certain amount of events mapped out. I'm sure Fire Chicken has his events that he has and matchups that he has thought out already. So if it doesn't fit on the timeline, the schedule, that's cool. But as soon as somebody hits us up and wants to work with us and get something scheduled and get some matchups going, we're all for it. We'll be excited. We'll work with anybody, man. We're waiting for it.
Well, once Buddy V and I either hit that Pat McAfee money or win the Powerball, we're going to get an all branch event going on. We're going to have to do that someday.
Yeah. I'll make a list. Who needs their ticket paid for? All right, you have to figure out your room and board, but you got your plane.
Yo, that would be so cool.
We need that Pat McAfee money, though.
Yeah.
We need
that money right now. Ooh, I mean, I could buy everyone a Totino's pizza. Yeah. So I know that I personally want to go back out there maybe before the end of the year. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I'm like,
hey, bro, heck yeah, man. That's dope. Yeah, you got to come back out here.
I need to come get my win, at least put on a better show. Even if I don't, it's going all 3 rounds. It's gonna be a war. Like, ooh.
Oh yeah, bro.
So,
hell yeah.
How did Street Beef's West Coast come about? How did that get popping?
So I started doing Street Beef's merch before we even had a branch out here. So I was in the group, and I was always pretty close to Scarface. So when he needed somebody to do merch, I started. I I jumped on that, and then so we started talking a little bit more. I've always wanted to fight in Street Beefs, so it took a little bit of convincing, a few months for them to fly out here and have an event in California. You know, Wolverine came out here, Face and his family came out here, and I drove from Vegas that morning up and went and fought in California, and that's where it started, and it was crazy because that was the first time I met Bushido, and we fought, and about like a few weeks later, not even too much, I was still in talks with Face. He was in talks with Face, and convinced him to do an event in Vegas, and that was before SB West Coast won still. So he came back out here. I got some fighters together. It was in Killer Bee's backyard, and we put together like 10 fights, I believe. And after that, he was just like, you know what? I think you're able to do this. You guys work together, pretty well. And we have that same vision, what Street Beefs is. So he's like, go ahead. Like, we want you guys to run a branch out there. And he likes the West Coast vibes. When he came out to California, he liked all that. So I don't know. It was pretty. It transitioned pretty well from me fighting to making that first event to then finally doing SB West Coast 1 in San Bernardino.
Well, you guys have great personalities. Like all the branches have some good personalities, but there's a lot of West Coast personalities. Free Smoke, Hitman, Prince KT's a personality onto himself. Güero, 619. It's great, but with the growth and how fast it grew, did you ever sit back and go, damn, this went way faster than you thought? Or did you think it would grow faster than it has because of the original Street Beefs?
Honestly, it felt pretty at pace. It did grow really fast. It happened really quickly, but I expected that. That's what I was prepared for, I guess. Maybe not expect too much, but I wanted that to happen. So we were on top of everybody, the group that was coming in. We were making sure we were ahead of the matchmaking, of the event planning and stuff. I think it went pretty much how we planned for it, how we prepared for it. But it was fast though. It was fast.
The ball started rolling. It's like, we're like Eddie Murphy's Delirious. Oh God, help me!
At a point, it felt like, didn't we just have an event last week? I'm already setting up for a different one, and we travel, so we have to set up venues. We have to set up a cage somewhere else. We have to get everything planned out with parking there, and it's not the same place every time. So there's that adds to it.
So before I ask you a question on that, was the event before Street Beefs West Coast in Killer Bee's backyard, was that when he fought Red Reaper?
Yeah. So he fought Red Reaper in his backyard. Yeah.
Okay, that was a killer fight. I like that one.
That was Killer Bee's third fight of the day.
So he's one of 3 or 4 people that have ever done that then. Okay.
Yeah, dude. He fought 3 times that day. So he fought Desert Storm, and he was 1 and out. He fought, I forgot the other cat's name because he fought the other guy he fought when I fought in California, and then he fought in Killer Bee's backyard, and that was it. But so he fought twice before Red Reaper got there, and Big Daddy William got there super late, man. It was already dark. We had been waiting for a while, and Killer Bee, stepped up so Red Reaper wouldn't go home without a fight. And so that happened. That shit was cool.
And that was the when Big Daddy William. So that was the one that ended in that nut shot, right?
Yeah.
See, I'm a fan. I've been following you guys since I love the West Coast, man.
Oh yeah, we appreciate that, bro. Hey, we Buddy V fans too, man. Yeah.
All right, and so my second question, because of what we were talking about before that, was what was it like trying to be able to coordinate it or be able to find different locations with different states? Hopefully you didn't have to pull out too much of your hair. Because I just couldn't even imagine that. Because with the OG, even with I think maybe Dirty South, I don't know. But Scrapyard, they have set locations, and you guys had to move around. So I mean, how did you deal with something like that?
Hey, luck. I think we got and stuff ended up falling into place. It was a bunch of scrambling. the weeks prior, and then as it goes closer to the event, we're still trying to figure things out. And then weekend of, like, boom, stuff just falls into place smooth. We got a lot of help, man. We got a lot of people that really care about the branch, that have been around since the beginning. So those guys always, make it run a little bit more smoothly than if it was just me and Bushido doing it ourselves. So I think that's accredited to them for sure.
How did that California crackdown happen?
So that was weird because it must have came from the athletic commission, because the police had shown up there a couple times as we had events and everything was cool. So they had gone there, everything was fine. And then all of a sudden Bushido and the owner of the other spot got letters in the mail. They were like, hey, we need you guys to just not do that no more. So that was it. Yeah.
Okay, so they didn't so it wasn't some big threatening thing. It was just a letter like cease and desist or.
Exactly.
A bunch of cars that are all black with tinted windows show up.
They put bags over our heads.
Right, they just drive you around. All right, here's the deal. This is gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I see more and more online that street beefs is becoming more accepted. It's not it's looked at less like backyard fighting and more like an amateur fighting, but not being sanctioned. I've said this before, so maybe you got an idea, but we got to get promoters to open their eyes, because why are you not signing street beef guys to fight in your amateur card? Where are you going to get as much publicity as you would already bring in? No amateur comes in with fanfare like the street beef guys.
Hey, well, it's happening, bro. It's happening, and I think the ball has started rolling, and it's just going to gain speed. We have 925 that has amateur fights. When he won, they brought him. They mentioned street beefs as they were interviewing him. Nasty Native has had those. And they introduced him as Street Beef's West Coast champion in that amateur fight. They flew Shinigami to Florida. They flew him out there to fight their champion for Shinigami's first fight. Right. Our fighter Superman just fought last Saturday, and he had their fastest KO with 7 seconds as well. So it's happening. It's happening now, and I think it's gonna happen a lot more.
I'm gonna say this one because this one was my favorite. I think I saw it right. Was Mook fighting Anderson Silva's son or something like that?
Yeah, that's still going down. I haven't seen the latest news on that, but yeah, that's going down, man. Huge.
Ooh. Oh shit, my phone's overheating. Oh man, really? All right, can I hop off for 1 minute? I'm gonna put it in the freezer. Sorry.
Yes, and buddy, that's a great time because we'll pause for a break or pause for a word from Overtime Hustling.
Overtime Hustling.
What's good? It's your homie, Freezes Christ. Y'all know the deal. Make sure y'all head on over to overtimehustling.com where you can catch all the latest merch, all the newest mags, all the media, everything, you know what I mean? And you can also find me on Winging It with the homies Keith G, King Dale, and Payne Gusto. And you can catch me on Turf Tales with the homie SK, as well as Backbox, you know what I mean? And if you got nothing to do on Sundays, even if you do got something to do, make sure you tap in the Overtime Reactions hosted by the homie Cuzzo. And I cannot forget the homie Jay over there at the Yankee and the Brit channel. So make sure y'all go over there and check them out. And hey, check me out, your boy Freezes, on that Real Talk with Jay. It was a hell of an interview, yo. Got to do it again. I keep saying it because I mean it. We got to do it again. I had a great motherfucking time. But anyway, you know who it is. Freezes H, OTH, Yankee and the Brit, Winging It, Turf Tales, Overtime Reactions, Chronicles Podcast. You know the drill. Cush's Corner. It's a motherfucking movement. So move with it or move out the motherfucking way. Simple and plain.
Overtime hustling. We hustling overtime.
And keep your eyes open, guys. Like I said before, it's coming real soon. Yankee and the Brit teaming up with Overtime Hustling. We're going to have a new show, me and Payne Gusto, called Playlist. So make sure you keep your eyes open for that. And so I was talking about the big personalities. I know Shinigami a little bit from coming on the show a few times. I'm a big fan of Free Smoke just because he'll tell somebody to fuck themselves and then back it up. He don't care how big they are. So Do you ever get worried about it going overboard where it didn't, but like Free Smoke and Terrifier, we're going back and forth pretty hard. And I know both of them a little bit, and they just cracked me up. But I was wondering at first, how's this going to go when he went to the scrapyard? But it went fine. But you ever worry about that?
No, not at all. Not at all, because, you know, that maybe there was a little bit of thought because it was from a different branch, but we do that all the time out here. And then we see each other at the events, and it's all love between all of our fighters every single time, man. Free Smoke even knew beforehand, before going up there, he's like, Terrifier's going to ask to take a picture with me, you know, like.
Yeah, he told me that Terrifier, if Terrifier acts right, he'll autograph it too.
Yeah.
But I always tell those guys, you got to not get, like, some people got upset with Terrifier, and right away I was like, dude, he's just fucking with you. Like, he's literally trying to get a rise out of you. So don't let it, like, because it's all in fun. I love the fact that, like, Hitman and Free Smoke go back and forth all the time, but they're cool as hell. I was on the 2-year anniversary scrapyard on Heart in the Fight with Hitman and Little Diesel and Smokey. That thing was so fun. I couldn't believe how much fun them guys have with each other, to the point where I had to joke, this is where we're going to get canceled.
Yeah, man. It's awesome how they get the banter is just like, I don't know. I think it's unmatched with us right here in the West Coast, and everybody talks like that with each other, and they know it's all love, you know, like we're for real friends. We party together. We eat together. Monsoon would even tell you the vibe out here. When he came out here, he fell in love with Street Beefs West Coast. We took him out to eat. We took him out to a bar. We took him downtown. He stayed here at my spot. You know, it's the camaraderie is pretty dope.
Yeah, I don't hear a ton from the Dirty South. It seems like the scrapyard, they're pretty close too. And then there's so many people with the OG yard. I think it's hard for everybody to know everybody over there too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know it's a little different out there in the OG yard because they have so many people come in all the time. So it's a little, you know, whenever we have somebody come into Street Beefs West Coast from out of state, even from here, we always go out together afterwards. And, you know, it's not as easy for them to do it out there since they have so many new people all the time. If they were to do that every time, I think it'd be pretty taxing on them. So maybe that's why it doesned happen. I know when our guys went out there, they went out there by themselves, and I don't think anybody but maybe Monsoon went out and partied with them, but I'm not sure.
And I know a couple people on the Heart in the Fight cast of the 2-year scrapyard anniversary thought I was crazy until they heard me out. I said, there is fights in Street Beef that I get more excited for than a UFC main event. And it's because of the pure love of the sport and Street Beefs. Nobody's getting paid. People may have goals and ambitions, but it's the pure love of the combat sports. I was so stoked for the Crazy Legs Free Smoke fight.
Exactly. Yeah. Some of these buildups, and also it might be because we've interacted with those people, you know, like we actually know them, and we have a little bit more of a personal connection with them. So that buildup, I can see why, you know, it's a little bit more exciting sometimes.
Yeah, and I've actually spoke to both of them, where I spoke to one UFC fighter in my whole life. You know what I mean? So like I got to know Crazy Legs a little bit from being on the show, and then Free Smoke's been on the show a few times, but he's in the comments everywhere. So we're always talking via Facebook or YouTube. So you feel a little bit of connection with these guys. You get to know their personalities, and I think it makes it more interesting. And like I said, it's just a pure love of the sport.
Yep. Yeah, man.
So what gets you most excited about setting up an event? Just having it set up, picking the fights? Like, what's the most exciting part of that?
I think when we come up with good matchups, you know, and good matchups in between, like not necessarily has to be like the person with the most wins or like the most recognized fighters. When I get somebody, for example, this new guy that's been in the group, he's been trying to get a fight for a little while, always posting videos. He's a brand new guy. He doesn't have a fight with us yet. His name's Long Live. And I set him up with a fight with Dyro. He's one of our returning guys, and I'm super pumped about that fight. I think it's perfect for both of them. it's a great returning fight for Dairo, and it's an awesome debut fight for Long Live. So when that stuff like that happens, and it just the anticipation to just a match that we think is really good, regardless of how big it can be, I think that's like the dopest part.
I agree. There's personalities for days. And Heart the Fight has a lot of the great personalities on their channel. So make sure you check out Wero and the Mexican and Locked In. And like they have a lot of good stuff. The live stream was so much fun for me. I felt like I almost felt like I was there and I didn't have to fly out to Washington. So that was a great time. I also know that with the personalities in Street Beefs, go to the group, you guys. Join the group, conversate. You'll have a great time with everybody. Everybody's respectful but fun. They like to pick on each other in a fun way. And Wero's locking down the group now, so you got to be a little bit careful on how you talk. But we got an adult in the room, so we got to be careful on how we talk. But how do you pick the fighters if you've never seen them fight? Just from the training videos?
Yeah, training videos. Even if a fighter just has one training video, if they're, commenting on other people's posts, being involved in the group, you can kind of tell when somebody gets what we're about, and those go to the top of the list. Once we feel like you understand like what Street Beefs is about, you get it a little bit, then you're most likely going to get picked. Then of course, even fighters that are brand new but they're posting videos and not interacting as much, we pick them as well, because we have to have certain experienced fighters and to fill in, or just so we can give everybody a match. So first and foremost, people that are more active, more involved in the group are most likely going to get picked first.
And I'm not asking you to call anybody out. So if it has happened, you don't have to say a name. But have you ever had a fighter come to an event and you guys are like, nah, he's never coming back?
No, not stuff has definitely happened at events. We're like, yo, that's how we roll. But every single one of those times, it's gotten solved. Then it's gotten solved at the event. Talk to them. We've cleared it up and they understand, and they've come back afterwards. So we've had stuff happen. People have gotten rowdy before. Some fun stuff has happened. Somebody busted through the cage door, before at the sandbox. And, that guy's welcome back. Like, it's all good.
It's all love. There was about 3 second chances.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious because I asked Fire Chicken this question one time, so I want to ask you. Obviously, it's grown to a proportion that no one could have imagined, and it's just phenomenal. But from what you have now, is there anything that you would like to see in the future for Street Beefs West Coast? Whether it be something for the cage, or something for the fighters, or just something behind the scenes, anything at all?
Yeah. Well, I mean, really, I think we're getting there now, which is what I want. I want at least like 3 established spots that we can have events and cycle them back and forth, and just so we have somewhere secure, somewhere sure every time for us. Because even if it is different spots, even if it's the Smoke Ranch, the Hot Box now, and if we get one more going, I think that would be perfect for us. And just as long as the cage is safe for the fighters and we can get stuff going in there, it doesn't really matter too much for us how it looks or anything like that. As long as the fighters have somewhere to throw down.
That'd be kind of cool too, because then when people are like, I've been to all the yards, I'm like, oh, you've been to the West Coast? All 3?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. So we've had the San Bernardino when we started. Those were hay bales. We've had the Sandbox, of course. We've been to Shrek's place, which was in California again, where they had that tiny little ring and also hay bales right next to it. We had the farm where it has the pro cage and then the other cage right by it as well. Now the Smoke Ranch, the Hot Box, and a couple others that are coming soon, So it is dope. It's dope having all those spots.
It's amazing the community you guys have too, because I was just thinking on this. There'll be somebody who is struggling with something, needs a ride, needs rent paid, needs something. and Sunshine or somebody jumps on it, ghost funds me, calls out people for a ride. Werrell gets up in the middle of the night and just goes picks people up. Like, the community is so amazing. The scrapyard has people running out to the airport or giving rides, that kind of thing. It's just an amazing community. Yeah,
man, it's awesome. It's dope, and I feel like a lot of people needed that, and they found it with Street Beefs. You know, me personally, I'm never going to be able to thank Street Beefs enough. You know, like, I wouldn't be able to use my arm here. I don't know if it's on camera, but I wouldn't be able to use it at all if it wasn't for Street Beefs. I was able to get my surgery because of people raising money and helping me out. So I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it happen with others, and like I said, the hospitality when people come out here. I've had so many fighters stay here at my house, going out to eat. Like you said, when they need help with something, with rent, we do that. I've picked up several fighters myself from the airport. I've driven fighters to the smoke ranch. You know, yeah, it's awesome, man. And I think it's gonna be like that for as long as I know these people. We're gonna be close friends like that.
And I can verify that because Bushido Zen and Tiny Tank were the nicest fucking people when I was in Vegas.
Hey, thank you, man.
So how do you make sure that continues for generations when new people come up? Just by making sure you include them and show them what it's about and how you do it?
Yeah. And I'm telling you, like, the people that we have now, there's no way that it won't happen. Because as soon as somebody comes to an event, Wade goes straight up to them and start. Wade's so good at that. He brings them in. He makes you feel part of the group. He starts talking to you about what you have on your mind, eases that. So, yeah, I think the people that we have surrounding Street Beefs West Coast right now is going to be easy for newcomers to feel like they've been here since the beginning also.
I have not heard one fighter ever say anything negative. Every fighter says at some way it changed their life. If it's from, we've had fighters on here say, I was thinking about killing myself before I got to Street Beefs. We've had other fighters say, I was in a depression before I got to Street Beefs, or Street Beefs helped me get in shape. Street Beefs helped me get anger out and help me have better relationships with my family. The things we've heard are so amazing.
My addiction, shit.
Yeah, yo, I hear about those all the time, man. I get messages like that, and that just, fortifies, my love for what we're doing over here. Even to the simplest thing, that's to get people moving again and to get people working out. And I hear it all the time. Like, I used to be an athlete, and then I just didn't have motivation to do anything. And then I see you guys working out all the time. It got me into doing it again. That's life changing. That right there can literally take you from one path to like a way different one. That's obviously a lot better.
So, being the head of West Coast, or one of the head, has anyone ever tried to stop you and get a picture with you in public? Be like, oh, Tiny Tank, we need a picture. Like,
Nah, actually, no pictures, but I do know quite a bit. I mean, y'all can tell I eat a lot, so I go to restaurants and I know the cooks and the chefs. Werrell says it's just because I eat. I'm a regular there, so that's why they treat me good. But they're like, hey, Tiny Tank, we've watched your videos. Like they talk about the recent events and stuff. So it's pretty cool going to different spots here in Vegas. But as far as like randomly, nah.
Oh, fair enough. You'll be like, oh, you see my fights, right? So that means if I don't like my food, I'm coming back here.
Yup, nah.
You got any more questions for him, buddy, before we let him get out of here so we don't take up his whole night?
Not really. I was the only last question I didn't get to fit in was with your training. Do you try to mimic anyone's style, or do you have a favorite boxer or MMA fighter? Anyone? That's about it.
Boxers. I mean, it's probably a generic ass answer, man. I like Tyson, I like Julio Cesar Chavez, and I like Canelo. Yeah. I like fighting inside, so that's what I do. You know what? I'm honestly a weightlifter that just likes boxing for fun. So the boxing thing is secondary to me, and I love Street Beef, so that's why I train boxing now, and just so I can do right by the people in my group, in Street Beefs West Coast. They can't see me over here getting beat up. So that's why I'm taking it serious and trying to take boxing a little more serious. But yeah, my love is the weights, bro. But
I can do it. No,
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
yeah,
So
brother.
wait, you gotta tell me where they can find you at. Where's Tiny Ting at? Where's the Instagram? Oh, shout out on the gram.
Hey, nah, they know they gotta follow Street Beast West Coast. We got the best reels, all the best reels for sure over there. We're about to hit 10 million views on our latest reel with punches. We got a bunch of them over 1 million. But to follow me personally is Tank Nation Instagram. You want to see me post stuff with Trunks, but that's it, yo. Tank Nation for me personally, and Street Beast West Coast for sure. Gotta follow that.
Shout out Sin City Strikers. All right.
Hey, that's true right there, man. That's my team. That's what we started with. That's what we train out here, Sin City Strikers. Every time I start naming them, I'm gonna miss one, so I'm not gonna even start it. But all my Sin City Strikers, man, I love y'all.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, man. I'm really excited for the 2-year anniversary. It's going to be a banger. That is a stat card. And for anybody who follows Street Beast, they know a lot of these fighters, so it's going to be exciting.
Hey, yeah, man. I'm excited for that, and I'm glad you guys are excited for it because that makes it. We're going to put on a show for y'all.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it. Thanks again, and have a great night.
All right, man. You too.
Peace out. I forgot to tell fighters to watch. I had one West Coast pick. I was going to tell them, damn it.
Well, maybe he'll still be watching, but if not, maybe he can go back and rewatch it and give us another view. So,
Yeah.
So does that mean you're ready for everybody's favorite time of the show?
Hey.
Buddy V's Fighters to Watch.
Sorry, Dirty South. You don't have a fighter on this list, but I got one for other 3 branches. Right now, Scrapyard, Twin. He fought Kickstand, and he won. Kickstand is an incredible fighter, as we already know. And Twin, as he got hit with a body shot, goes, huh? Look, a little bit of throw up comes out, and you can see him, just his whole cheeks explode. I was waiting for him to throw up all over his opponent. He just stomachs the whole damn thing, finishes a fight, and wins. And like, oh yeah, that's light work. You know, that's what we do. Sometimes it's like that. Damn, we got people running for the puke bucket every time, and this boy can swallow it. Fair enough. So yeah, he was definitely a force to be reckoned with. Then he had the skill to back it up. So I want to see him come back out again. Then, funny enough, for the West Coast, I got Sumcat. Now he is a good fighter. I like the fact that he refs, he's all around, and he knows how to whoop some ass. I like how the last fight he was like, well, he said he wanted a challenge. I said he could fight me. He never said no. Comes out, whoops the dude's ass. He's like, all right, he never said no. So that's all I'm saying. He said he wanted a challenge. He's not sitting here talking too much, no smack, no nothing. Just showed up and let his fist do the talking. I thought that was killer. I was like, all right. And I think one of the first fight, he had like a 15-pound difference or so. I don't know. He fights at 161. But yeah, or maybe 10-pound difference. So sorry about that. But yeah, second pick. Third pick, OG Yard. Now, this is because Anomaly is 60 years old at the Scrapyard. Our oldest fighter here at the Scrapyard. The OG Yard, hell yes, I'm good. And the OG Yard, they have one called Forever Young. I just watched this dude's fight. Muay Thai or whatever, kickboxing, one of the two. Comes out, he's throwing spinning back fist at the dude, hitting him on contact when he's trying to throw a kick. His opponent is 20s, he's trying to throw like a roundhouse. He just comes in, boom, teeps him in his gut and pushes him back a couple inches. Dude's like late 50s, and he's just beating his ass. So I'm like, I have so much respect for him. Automatically has to make the list. And you know how the match ends? The match ends because he gets his whole eyebrow busted open and said, oh, there's blood. Guess I can't continue anymore. And like, it's nothing. So personally, I would not mind. I'm not saying it has to happen, but I think it would be killer to see Forever Young and Anomaly. I don't know about MMA, but maybe do like a boxing match because I like both of their old school style. They're very in your face, but they know how to. It's just, I think that would be crazy. I definitely enjoy both of them watching. So those are my 3 picks. And like I said, I think when you get a killer match, I'm about to bring popcorn to that match when I see it because, woo! So those are my 3 fighters to watch. My picks for the week.
Well, there you go. And, buddy, before we get out of here, why don't you tell them all where they can find you and your merch?
So if you go to zwell-world.com, that's where you will find my Zwell merchandise. But I also This is the test one, so it doesn't look quite like the one online. But you can find your official Yankee and the Brit t-shirts on my website as well. The microphone on there is actually chrome, so you can see your reflection. It's pretty killer. And so I have white shirts available, and I'll have black available at the end of the week. So there you go. And you get all sorts of other fun stuff. I have pop events showing up. They're growing. The next one, we're going to have musical acts, some comedians. I think we're going to have lowriders and some bikes there too here. So if you're local, come check them out. Zuel is growing. It's a movement. It's a way of life. It's just the way it is. So, yeah.
Also, any of you NFL fans, football's back. We're in preseason. We have 3 spots open on the Yankee and the Brit Fantasy Football League. It's free to join. The winner gets a championship trophy ring. So if you're interested, hit me up on the Yankee and the Brit site, and I'll get your email and get you registered for that fantasy football league.
Shout out to Heart in the Fight, OTH, everyone that helps out, Yankee and the Brit, Scrapyard, West Coast, OG, Dirty South. Oh, Zuel, what does Zuel mean? Zuel is a part of my last name, Valenzuela. So then that way, it's always a part of me. I will work hard, and I will create everything for my family and everyone else to come, showing you hard work, grit, determination. You can take what it is. And thanks to Jay, who helped come up with this, whatever the fuck you want. I'm living proof. I get punched in the face, and I still do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, you're going to have to come up with the G-rated version, though, for when you do TV commercials, right? Because I'm not sure my whatever the fuck you want is going to fly on if you ever get TV commercials, but
right, I'll have a drumstick. It'll be like whatever the pluck you want.
There you go. There you go. Well, thanks everybody for watching. That's the show. Check us out again next week. One world, one love. Deuces.